Yeah, Suprin is doing fine. Uh, all right, so this match is firing up. Now, sound for the round start might help.
Playing against Desk with another Benoshi.
From the the stream, and I actually did say that the round was starting. So the three voices you hear today are myself, Pentachills, Nicholas Podrasky, Hacky Channel, Patrick Sarmiento, and Jadeem Jedi, Jason Barnett.
Hello there. This is actually Corey Shellcasting here.
No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not Corey Jones.
I got a pretty slow hand, though.
No, it's not Corey Jones.
And no removal.
It's not probably not going to discuss his hand because he's not on a delay. But we do see Holy Light mulligans down.
And he's playing
many things. Also mulliganed. Both players taking a mulligan in game 1 of this round.
Vampires, oh my.
Looks like we are going to see a new one here.
You do see Madame Banana as the champion. Ah, there we go. He got up his card blocker. Fortunately, I actually, you know, because his opponent is stacking many things, was like an absurdly trustworthy
I have 2 purges.
I actually didn't feel too bad about it because I know that Matt would have been like, "Oh, I'll turn off the stream." He'd have been grumpy.
Spool is not good.
Totally done that. So, both players
What'd you
leading
get,
off
Nico?
with a shard, not a split shard for either of them. Double blood hits for Deck of Many Things, and he lays out the Inquisition. He actually gets to see the entire hand that Krezi was holding, regardless of the situation, and take one card out of that is not a shard.
Of course, with Krezi having multiple necrotics in hand, he will still have allegiance, even if Deck does take one of the necrotics away here. Important to know that the necrotic shard, the Crypt Dust here, is very unusual, very different in the way that it works. The Crypt Dust only gives you a threshold that you don't already have, but only if you have a necrotic either in your hand or in play. Important to note because you want to make sure that you're able to play your cards. I've actually played in play testing the necrotic deck, and with a tribal, you'd think you'd always have it, but you sometimes don't, and it can be difficult if you have to play it with no threshold.
So we see him getting a blood threshold here. And he is going to use Call the Grave to pull that Deep Gaze champion out.
It's also interesting to note there's a little bit of tension in the necrotic deck here because the threshold has to be one you don't already have. Sometimes you find yourself needing to play your
this first
cards
game's
in
not
a little bit different order than you would have otherwise.
Yeah, but because you get the resource and the charge at the same time, it generally works out.
Yeah, just makes it a little bit harder for some of the double threshold cards to play. Although we do see Holy Light having the second blood here now.
Lays out a Grim Harvester here. Has his charge power available to him. So does Deck of Many Things, who's laid a Vampire Princess. Vampire Princess is a very strong card, 2/3 for 3, has life drain and flight, and if it connects with your opponent, if it deals damage, you get to randomly choose a card from their hand. If it's an action, you take that action, convert it into a Vampiric Kiss, and then you can use that. Additionally, if the Vampiric Princess was in your opening hand, your Vampiric Kisses can be free. Whew. A lot of text on that card.
A lot of text. There's a lot of text. So you randomly revealed Dark Diamond Shard there, which is immediately played. See another necrotic here, the Deep Gaze champion being replayed. The one that was originally probably from the graveyard.
Super strong card, that Deep Gaze champion. A 3/3 for 3, already a solid body in Hex. We've gone over this a couple of times in Additionally, though, if you shift a power onto any one of your troops while Deep Gaze Champion is on the board, all of your troops get +1/+1. Permanently, which is important.
Permanently very important in this game because we've seen already a few recursion cards from Holy Light, and if you do have the +1 on any of your troops, it will retain it even when it comes back from the grave.
You know what's interesting about Shift? It's interesting because Deep Gaze Champion specifies when a power is shifted on another one of your troops.
Opening hand Argus.
Which is just to stop it from your opponent shifting
when I
troops
revealed it, I
unless
said,
you
it's
get
Judgment Day
+1.
time.
But it's interesting that you don't have any shift troops that allow you to shift onto the opponent.
Yeah, we didn't see any of those this first time around.
Or it's just interesting that Shift doesn't have that functionality at all. Like, a 1/1 troop for 2 that was actually
I lost that first game.
but
I dropped
you
from the
had
5
the
shots,
-1,
I'm going to
-1,
play
and you
new
could
cell.
shift that -1/-1 onto something else.
Well, good luck to you, man.
That would have been it's interesting design space. So
Good
we
luck.
see terrible transfer
Take
come
that.
out,
Get another
removal
first.
based on the blood threshold of Deck of Many Things, destroying the Deep Gaze Champion in response to the shift ability from Warlock of A tier. Now, what happens if the shift target is interrupted in this case, a lot of people don't know this, is that the shift fizzles and the troop with shift loses shift, but does not lose the ability that they were trying to shift. So the Warlock of a tier can still use its ability, but no longer has that shifting capability. Additionally, because the Deep Gaze Champion was removed in this case, the +1/+1 to all troops wasn't applied.
Because the power did not get to shift.
That's true.
Also worth pointing out here, because we do have the Grim Harvester in play, a small little misplay. Probably should have used that one resource that was left to go ahead and sacrifice off the champion to deal 1 direct damage to Deck of Many Things.
I got
not
2
just dealt
purges.
damage to Deck of Many Things, would have also healed Holy Light 1. Additionally, Terrible Transfer would have fizzled,
That is right.
which means
And a Noxious Glory.
no health would be gained back. Now, if I had to guess, the interaction is just something that Crazy hasn't come across often, and he wanted to know if the shift's still resolved or not. Just
Always
the way his
a-
house is moving, that's how
Always
I guess.
Gigant the sword.
We can see he's
Always
choosing from the
Gigant.
remaining thresholds that he has
So
here.
that
He
means
chooses
I should play
Sapphire,
18 shards, right?
and he goes
Yeah.
back to Deck of Many Things, sacrificing a
Minimum.
minion
And not
as
only that, you gotta
or
also have some ramp in
onto
your
the
deck.
Vampire Princess, making it a
I do.
4/5, which is
I have
incredibly
three
good
Ashman
with
soloists,
that
but I
life
don't think
draining
I'm gonna play
flight.
any of them, 'cause I also
And we
have
see
Mary
Holy
Minstrels,
Light making
two
a
Light
fairly
Clears.
complicated turn here, uses his charge power on
Oh
the
yeah,
Wall of
why
Fate
would you
here,
ever go
and then
Cressida with that
abominates
kind
onto
of...
the Grim Harvester, giving him a 5/5 Swift Strike
Oh,
life
I got
entry.
that.
And then plays
Yeah,
down
I
the
got
Deep Gaze Disciple pre-combat here, exhausting all of his resources and leaving his hand empty before he swings
Now
in
I'm
with
trying
the
to
Grim Harvester.
prioritize Stinkhorn C4.
Now that his hand
and
is
Stringer
empty, he
Reach.
doesn't have to worry about the Vampire Princess stealing any cards out of his hand. And Deck of Many Things additionally hand will draw on this turn.
I would go with Steering Oration.
Really?
It's just kind of that weird board state situation where you don't want to be facing down. Like, you both have a troop life draining.
Unless
but
you have first
your board
striking.
state's better, but your opponent has 2 cards. So those 2
Then I would
cards that
place
Deck of
them.
Many Things has matters quite a bit here.
I do have
Additionally,
two Death Masks
he does have enough charges to activate his charge
and I
power.
had to cut.
We see Holy
I had to
Light
cut
throws a
Flame
phantom in
Man
front of the
to
Vampire
Ogres.
Princess here.
I feel like my wife.
No
Preventing
way!
that damage
You all
to his
keep
face,
both of those
still
in.
allowing Deck of Many Things to gain 4 health.
Man, your pool is strong.
I know, that's why it's hard for me to make the
Especially
cut,
with
like,
the minion about
Oh,
to resurface.
Flame Hand
next turn,
Invoker is
good
a
tunnel after
auto
it's
add.
sacrificed off. We could see the
Over
life gain.
Stinkhorn?
Oh wow, we see more life
Yeah,
gain.
especially if you have 2 Death
for
Mask
Crazy.
Assailants.
This may end up being a long game here, folks.
Yeah, this is
I'll
kind
be
of a
back.
crazy situation. Both players gonna get into
Try it.
crazy health.
Thread.
Dude, those 2
Genocide
alone
Figure
wins
will
you
shift
so many
its ability
games.
onto the Deep Gaze Disciple. The Deep Gaze Disciple
that's fine.
also
Wait.
specifying that when a power is shifted onto a troop you control, but specifically in this case, it only gives itself +1/+1.
That's right.
And-
Somebody in chat
Yeah, your
did
pool is
mention
nice.
earlier
I'm-
that shifting onto the Deep Gaze
Mine's
was
not so
not
nice.
necessarily like
got
the
two
Warlock of the
staggering
Tier could have
blasts
shifted
also.
onto the Grim Harvester.
Oh! So good.
things would have been one way or the other. We see Rotcast coming from
Dynamite,
Deck of
Predatory
Many Things,
Prey,
which destroys the Grim Harvester,
Reformer.
putting a fairly powerful troop of Holy Lights
Well,
into the
let me
big
finish my deck, then I'll go take a look at yours.
Two Sandstone Rumbler. This is like a
Mini
crazy
EBS
deck.
can surfaces this time. See if Deck of Many Things uses his charge power again.
I'm tempted
Both
to go
players still above 20
spiders,
health.
but I'm not sure.
We've seen at least one call the grave from Holy Light here, and another one will pull that Grim Harvester back. And
So that Granite
continue
Giant
from it.
paid,
You see the sacrifice
panned out
onto
for
the
you?
Vampire Princess. So where Hex in chat saying that Rotcast might have decided the game on its own. That's incredibly possible. especially
yeah, I
since
never
we see
really
Deck
played
Many Things
Granite
lay out a
Giant.
shard and leave his hand at one card
I
again.
ended up for an Invigorating Breeze and I cited something else up for color. I had the most amazing turn in the final round.
Now,
against,
the DK's Disciple still has life drain,
Situation.
so it's
4 points.
only really 3 health getting
Yeah,
picked off
tried to go aggro
for
on
Deck
me.
of Many Things.
I had 4 shards open.
Right. It ends up being a
I
bit
had
more of an
a
uphill battle
3/3
for
lethal life
Trezzy here.
drain,
A little bit surprised that he didn't attack with the
the
2-2
ship
there
guy
to offset
in play.
some of
He
the
had life
health
drain
gain
from the
that Deck of
2/1
Many Things does have.
Sunkeeper.
Yeah, he might just have.
And
You know,
my
like, it does
Simulation had
block,
5
a couple of the undead troops that we've seen today.
A Valiant Escort
Like,
with
there
a
is-
Urgnok buff.
Yeah, there
It's
is a
3/1.
possibility of,
And,
I want to say, the
he played a
Lich,
Fury
Yeah.
which
Warrior,
would
which is
add
4/4
some
speed,
speed
right?
there. So could be that he's just
So he
back in
attacked
case.
with
It's not just
both-
I'm not really listening right now, Nico.
Well, fair
Oh,
enough.
yeah, no.
But I meant more.
I need to finish my deck.
Deck of Many Things got it going on.
And I got a
We only got
2-year-old.
9 minutes.
I know, but I also have I'm watching a 2-year-old too, so.
It's
Yeah,
still a
take
bit of a
that.
slow
Yeah,
burn
makes it
here.
more challenging.
Although Deck of Many Things has put a troop onto the board that is otherwise, like, it's very difficult to deal with, but all Krezzy really needs to do here is find a removal, and the game could swing again. See that minion of Beazakan resurface.
And then you guys can now a 3-1 because it is retunneled.
This might be the first time in a while that we see either player.
I'm playing against Coach Flipperon.
20 health. Deck of Many Things swings in with both.
He's
Is it
running a
3 charge
Coyote deck.
Again, he could have sacrificed onto the Vampire Princess again, but that's a lot of eggs in one bundle. We see Holy Light making the decision to block with his Gem Soul Feeder.
And he opened with a Storm Drummer
Back in the ground yet again.
and then played a
Gonna get
Wakuna
another
Crow
plus
Feather.
attack as well.
We see noticeable
Both of them hit
frustration
his
on
Lanapaw
Krezzy's
Prophet of
face.
Fate.
Notable, understandable
Ow.
frustration, honestly.
Krezzy going for the champion power on the deep keys and also attacking in again.
Yep, the
Just
champion
to-
power just offers him a little bit of protection against another, like a murder or whatever. But we see both players accelerating quickly to their 10 drops. Really, even a Ruby Wild deck would have a hard time keeping up with the ramp that these players are playing.
You know, I'm not sure if we're actually going to see it here, but it would be kind of cool if there was a Krezzy's deck there. He does have the resources.
It's funny you mention that, because if there was anyone to run Miro in the whole tournament, I would have expected it to be Deck of Many Things.
Is that card
He
there?
loves that card. A Comet Strike would really mess things up here. Actually, a Comet Strike is interesting tech, because it would void the DK. You see Krezzy taking the full brunt of this attack, going to 5 health total. He did lose his Deep Gaze Disciple to a murder prior in the turn, and he is starting to draw troops now. The situation amuses him. He laughs. I don't really think... No, okay, so what he could do in this situation, if he wanted to buy a turn, is he could have blocked with the Phantom that he just sacrificed to the Grim Harvester in front of the Vampire Princess, and then sacrificed it to prevent any damage or life drain from happening. This game is a far off for a win for him. He is in a really tight position here with Deck of Many Things having 45 health, but that was an option.
Chat saying purge time. Purge definitely could be a big blowout potential.
Either player would need cards in their hand for that, sadly.
Ah, goddamn.
Well, that doesn't seem right.
No, definitely should be blocking with the Swift Strike Life Drain.
Yeah, and then surviving on 2 instead of 1. Crazy just... I mean, the situation is super hopeless, right? Like, and we see him catch another shard there, so he will toss the turn, but... a deciding line was taken earlier on in that game.
I lost the second round.
Chat making good point.
Could use
And,
Call the Grave to steal the Vampire Princess. Yeah, that would be sweet.
Exactly. Call the Grave, unlike some other games, Call the Grave here, you can go and target any troop in any graveyard. And as long as you have the thresholds, you can go ahead and play it. And in a necrotic deck.
Is there no equivalent card?
Not
Sure,
that,
surely there is for 1.
Well, not to put it into your hand.
Oh
because-
no, because obviously that would be okay.
Yeah.
Mm. And then there's no 1 cost. Okay. It's been a while.
Yeah, no worries. We see a little bit of reserve shenanigans here.
We'll also see Holy Light choose to go first.
Did you play a Roid last night, Nico?
Snap keeps his hand. Deck of Many Things doing the same. We'll see how these players play.
So he went 17 in a Roid?
Hands as opposed to 7.
Yep.
Deck of Many Things, not running sleeves like the uncultured swine that he is.
Helped a lot,
Holy
actually.
Light making an educated decision not to run sleeves.
Yeah, I
to
feel
match
like
his
I'm gonna need it
opponent.
too. I don't know what to cut.
Really, I just wanted to give Deck of Many Things crap for not running sleeves, whilst not actually giving crap to Holy Light.
Without that Roid last night, I probably would have lost a few of the games I otherwise won.
So we'll see that Crypt Dust come down.
I don't know. Like
One
maybe
thing I
should
missed
put another shard
from
in
one of the
this
recent
spot would be
patches,
fine.
you used to be able to tell what shard your opponent was playing. It would display on the chain.
Quite easy.
It was creating a visual bug, so I guess they took that away. I hope it comes back. Knowing what shard your opponent played. at
Screw
any
it,
given
going with a
time
41 card
is
deck.
A huge deal in a TCG.
Oh, no.
Certainly would help. One thing you can do at this point is you can sometimes guess if your opponent pauses for a second before.
Well,